Good morning and welcome, Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquin, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group. Our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. And welcome to Thursday. I hope you're all having a great morning. I got a great show for you. I got a great item. I'm telling you what, get ready. Get your dialing fingers ready. This is something a lot of you have been waiting for. I'm going to let the suspense build. What could it be? That's going to be coming up in the next segment. By the way, the Indians, whoo, man. I'm telling you, we're getting ready for a really big run. We'll give you all the stuff that you need to know. But before we do, you know I talk about CBD because I believe it. I know it works. A lot of you are like me. Listen, we're older. I just turned 51 now. Getting old sucks. And for you, I have more than probably most. I take the 3,000 milligram tincture. That's kind of like my bread and butter. But I have the salve, I have the lotion, I have the bath salt. But the tincture is the thing that I do every day. And I don't, I'm not that smart. I'm a dumb guy. And, $99 for that 3,000 milligram tincture. For me, it's about a 45-day supply. Just depends on how much you put in that in the dropper, right? But for me, it's about 45. And I'm like, well, God, I feel so great. I don't need to take it every day, right? And I don't know why. Whatever. Right? I just decided, I'm just going to kind of use it the way I used Advil. Oh, it hurts, so I'm going to do it. That was a mistake. I will say I won't do that again. So last week, I golfed a couple of times. I went bowling. Let's just say the night I got home from bowling, my wife looked at me and says, "What did you do?" And I told her, I stopped taking it every day, and I don't know, and it was miserable. But and I know Jerry had said this all, to be consistent with it, because it really does help your body heal itself. And I got another testimonial. This was from Arizona, and it's a great story, and I'm going to share it with you. He emailed me this. And he was talking about how he looks after an 85-year-old widow. She had fell a few weeks back and broke her hip. Okay. Total hip replacement she ends up getting. The surgery left a large gash in the front of her leg. And not to get too graphic, but they spread the muscles. He wrote it in there, think giving birth. Like they spread the muscle, maybe like a rib spreader, and they insert the new ball and socket for the new hip. She was back home in a week and on her feet, all of it with a walker. To my amazement, the hip doesn't hurt. The ball and the socket. But her leg, where they spread those muscles, sure does. They usually don't prescribe Oxy for extreme muscle pain. But the 85-year-old talked him into it, and anyway, she took it for 5 days. She took a 3-day supply, stretched it to 5 because she didn't take it. She spread it out over longer intervals. As the Oxy wore off, he said he started thinking about alternatives, non-addictive stuff. That day, I thought about it. You were mentioning a similar surgery story on your show. I probably one it's really good for scars, surgery scars, and it's really good after surgery for the inflammation and the pain, really. And I know because I used it on my elbow. Glenn Tate, Prepping 2.0, he's got a very similar story. So I ordered the CBD salve that day. I'm an engineer by training, so I have to be careful when I say it works. Since only a sample of one person, no double-blind test, could be a placebo effect, right? All those things. Very hubris. But, man, did it seem to work. The proof is that she continues to use it. She even started applying it to the back of her calves, which had started to become sore because of the exercises she was doing during recovery. The salve seems to work within minutes of her putting it on. They're trying to determine, and I love this part, he's trying to determine how long it works. Like how long for her before she needs to reapply. And he's saying about every 6 hours is what she's been doing. And then he said the one negative is he got an email receiving confirmation of his order. He didn't receive an email confirming shipment. That shouldn't happen. We'll check in and make sure that doesn't. When you order, go to 1360 KHNC, hit the shopping cart button. You should get an email confirming your order. Then you should also get a second email with your shipping information, your tracking number, all of those things. So I apologize that didn't happen. We'll make sure that gets corrected. But again, another testimonial about how great this product is. You don't need oxy, you don't need Advil and Tylenol, all this other stuff. Try out these CBD products. They're just fantastic. Patriot Radio News Hour. Listen, when we get back, great show, great item coming up. 800-951-0592. Had some economic data out today. Jobless claims, better. 348,000 people filing for the very first time. I mean, I'll say better. Nowhere near where we need to be, but better. That's good. And probably a lot of it having to do with back to school and whatnot. But hey, we'll see. Hopefully we don't get it, back near that 400,000 again. But we'll wait and see. It's just a 1 week number, and of course we can get any kind of adjustment on that. Then we had Philadelphia Fed. We had the New York Fed number the other day, which wasn't great. This number also not good. We're in this weird spot. Because we've got inflation running wild, and I'll get to that in the Philly report. The economy, for all practical purposes, we're slowing. And that just makes sense, right? I mean, we gave out a lot of money. No one's had a check from the government for a while, right? And I laugh because they're doing all kinds of other things. And because the economy was hot in the summer, they started talking about taper. And now everybody's unsure of what's going to happen. Wall Street was down 300 points when someone actually tried to swing the Fed's going to start tapering this year because of the Fed minutes. We'll get to it. I'm getting ahead of myself. Trying not to. I'm really excited. But we've got this horrible thing getting ready to play out. This is exactly where I thought we'd be. We've got high inflation, slowing growth, and the Fed boxed itself into a corner. This is what's happening. So in this Philadelphia Fed index, this is a manufacturing index. There was, the index fell again, but the only reason it was as high as it was, and it wasn't really that high, it was 19.4, by the way, in case you want to know. Still expandatory, but well off its all-time highs, and well off the highs of the years, which was in April. They were expecting 22, so it missed it. What was growing in there? They had new orders, which was good. Shipments, that fell, which kind of says, and this just me reading into, hey, we got supply chain issues. Unfilled orders, which I thought would rise, fell a lot. That was worrisome. Because, that was something. It went from 19 to 7. And so it kind of was like, well, wait a minute. If you were having shipping problems, why would that have fell? And that kind of tells me that maybe they didn't have a lot of orders to begin with. The reading for 6 months of business, so looking 6 months ahead, how do you feel about things? Another big drop there, 15-point drop. Was at 48, down to 33. Pretty substantial there. And I think a lot of businesses feel in that way. Number of employees, the index of a number of employees, pretty flat. Indexes, prices paid, 71.2. That's way up there. How about prices received? That rose 7 points in August. It hit the highest reading. This is the Philadelphia Fed. The highest reading. They've been keeping track of this number for a long, long time. Since 1974. So that gives you an idea of where inflation really is. Let's cut all the central bank bull crap. Okay, let's set all that crap aside. Go right to the manufacturer, and they're saying, hey, listen, prices paid, prices received, the highest we've seen since the 70s. And I think that was a huge indication of where we're at. Get ready. This is why I'm telling you, get ready. We're getting ready to come out of this false eye we had all summer long, where the Fed was, okay, well, we're going to admit to inflation, but it's just going to be transitory, and, the economy's great, and, we're going to taper and all this stuff. And it's really setting up for just like I told you was going to be. And what I'm telling you it's going to be is without any more spending. And this is why we're going to start hearing Janet Yellen a lot more about getting all of this. First of all, getting the debt ceiling raised, getting the infrastructure bill, which Nancy Pelosi has in the House now, whenever they decide to get back from vacation, and then that other $3.5 trillion. Because I think we're in for a very, very rude awakening. J.P. Morgan saying that they believe that August job growth. Remember last month? Remember the number we got at remember the government gives the number first Friday of every month. We almost had 1 million last month, and I told you then there was a lot of sand in that million. I think it was 943,000. J.P. Morgan saying we could see job growth as low as 50,000 jobs for August. So be ready. Just be ready as we watch all of this play out here. I don't know how we're going to get through it. Yesterday, remember I told you everything was waiting on the Fed, right? And the Fed minutes and again, still trying to give credit, and credit may be the wrong word, but trying to give credence that the Fed knows what they're talking about. And they come out with all of their minutes and their talking points. And yesterday, it all had to do with taper. Are they going to taper? When are they going to taper? We're going to break it all down. I'm going to break down the entire thing for you so you can understand the dilemma that they're really in. And then also, we're going to talk about those reverse repos again. That number keeps growing. The central bank may be in a really horrible position, and I'll get to that as well. But before we do, I've got an item. I want to go over it. We'll go over it a couple of times. We started this yesterday afternoon. I want to let everybody know that this is going to be patient. Some of this will go very, very quickly. Some of you may have to wait a week or 2 or 3. But we've got a pipeline secured for the 2021 Type 2 Silver Eagle. For those of you that have been, I know a lot of you have been waiting. So this was the year going back to the Morgan dollar. 1921, so 100 years ago, they did a redesign of the Morgan dollar and came out with the peace dollar, right? So 1922, here came the peace dollar. Well before they knew COVID was going to hit and silver shortages and all that stuff, it was like, oh, let's do a redesign of the Silver Eagle on the 100th anniversary. So they came out what we're going to call the Type 2 Silver Eagle. That came out this summer. The head side, the Liberty size, the Walking Lady Liberty, the one that looks like the St. Gaudens, if you will, that's unchanged. That's the same. It's the tails side of the coin that they redesigned. Your Silver Eagles from 1986 through halfway through this year, that tail side, you had you had an eagle on the back, and it had the wings spread out, and on its chest, it had like a shield, like a crest, if you will. And it didn't really look, lifelike, if you will, but that was the design with the crest. They've changed the tail side now. Now you have the bald eagle and kind of like coming in for a landing. A lot more, what I'll say, lifelike eagle on the back. And it's coming in to land on a branch, on a perch, if you will. So it's a pretty cool design for the eagle, if I say so myself. Right? If you said, hey, which one do you like better? As far as what one catches your eye a little better, I'd say the Type 2 is better. I'll give the Mint credit. Hey, that designed to me anyway, a little more appealing. Looks kind of cool. So we have at least, we had a couple of cases yesterday. Anyone who ordered yesterday on the afternoon show, you're getting your stuff first. That will ship out of the Bullion Bank on Tuesday. Everyone that orders from today out, you may be part of the shipment on Tuesday, or you may have to wait a couple more weeks. And let me tell you why I don't know the answer. As we were talking to the Bullion Bank yesterday, we were able to secure a couple cases that we ran on the afternoon show, and then he said, call me in the morning. And I saw, we were talking to him this morning. He has a line out the door. He can't even get to the inventory. And just so you know, regular people can't go to the Bullion Bank. You can't go. You have to be a licensed dealer to even be there. And he's got a line out the door, and they're all wanting the same thing. This Type 2 Silver Eagle. So he said, hey, listen, I'll let you book whatever you want. You've been a customer. We've been dealing with this Bullion Bank for 25 years. He goes, I just don't know what shipment you're going to be in after this point, because I can't even tell you how much is left. And I want you to understand, they get these things on pallets. And he gets hundreds of cases at a time. And he said the demand for this, is unprecedented. He goes, I just got them. I can't believe it. Here's the great part. We're one of the cheapest in the country again. They're $680 a roll. $680 a roll. This is the 2021 Type 2 Silver Eagle. Just don't. It will go quickly, I promise you, but we are locked in. I just can't tell you how fast you're going to get it. It may be 2 weeks, it may be 3 weeks. Shouldn't be anything longer than that. But you may get lucky, but the way he was talking, we're probably not going to get lucky. So for those of you that ordered yesterday, you're good. Everybody else, anywhere from a week to 3 weeks for delivery, 800-951-0592. We probably, not probably, I'm guaranteed at least 5 cases. I may be able to get more depending on how many we sell today, because after that, he's like, everyone's going to get cut off again, and then we'll see if the Mint can make more or not. So there you have it, the 2021 Type 2 Silver Eagles.
Sir. Yes, ma'am, by God be darned.
800-951-0592. We've got one line open. Most of that commercial break, we had no lines. If you got the voicemail, call us back. If you've left the voicemail, we'll get to you later today. But very important, this is the Type 2 Silver Eagles. The Bullion Bank it's a massive run here. We are in great position. We've got a lot of them booked ahead of time. The problem is, once they get a month out, the Bullion Bank will not book orders. So right now, I don't know, depending, let's just assume we're not lucky, okay? You're looking at a delivery time of about 3 weeks. So you can see kind of where we're at here with it. So get these orders in. The faster you get them in, the faster you're going to get them, the faster I'm able to book them, and hopefully get everybody taken care of. The 2021 Type 2 Silver Eagle. This is the new design. That tail side, the head side stayed the same with the Walking Lady Liberty. It's that tail side. Instead of the eagle, if you will, with the crest, this is a much more lifelike eagle coming in for a landing with its wings in the air, landing on a perch. It's pretty cool. The best part is always here at Patriot is the price. $680 today, 800-951-0592. We got 3 lines open, so it'd be a great time to call. I know you want to hear the rest of the stuff. So let's talk about this Fed minutes, because it's fascinating. Okay, and we're going to go line by line, all the big bullet points. Let's start with substantial further progress. Right? And you hear that a lot. There's still substantial further progress that needs to be made. Market participants judged, it's always judged, that the committee's standard of substantial further progress towards the maximum employment goal has not been met. Wow, there's a shocker, really. We got 12 million people on extended unemployment benefits. At the same time, most participants remarked that the standard had been achieved with the respect of the price stability goal. Price stability? Are you kidding me? Right? But listen, everybody that said that should be fired immediately. Right? You said 2% was your price stability gauge. It's 5. And really, we all know the truth. Right? We know the truth. It's really 15. Maybe more. But, hey, most of them. I don't know what the other ones did. Hopefully the other one, I wonder if any of the other ones, oh, no, we're not there yet, On paper, okay, most participants noted that provided, this is the best part, provided that the economy were to evolve as broadly as they anticipated, they judged that it could be appropriate to start reducing the pace of asset purchases this year. And you saw all the headlines. Fed says tapering's going to start this year. That's not what they said. But it's okay. It's okay. Hey, by the way, if GDP stays at 5, 6, 7%, then we're going to do it. Well, that's not going to happen. Already that hasn't happened. But we'll see. Okay. Because I agree. Listen, it should have already. Here's the problem. Taper should be over already. With inflation this high, taper should be over already. They haven't even started. And now they say, well, we'll wait till the end of the year. On interest rates. Well, obviously, interest rates can't go anywhere until you're done tapering, right? You don't raise rates while you're still buying the bonds. Various participants commented that economic and financial conditions would likely warrant a reduction in coming months. Interesting. Several others indicated, however, that a reduction in the pace of asset purchases was more likely to become appropriate next year. So now they're talking about rates. They're actually still talking about taper. And they were split. Some said, hey, inflation's really getting out of control. We got to do something. Right? I guess. I give you no credit for that. I don't. You're not doing your job. You told us the parameter. You're not doing that. Others said next year because they saw prevailing conditions in the labor market not being close to the committee's substantial further progress. See, this is this box. I'm telling you they're in. Right? They know they're in trouble. The actual pace of it all, right? A wide range of views on what the appropriate pace of tapering of purchases would even be. Now, you got to remember, they're buying $40 billion of mortgage-backed securities, $80 billion of treasuries, $120 billion a month. So and just understand this. That's $1.44 trillion that they're buying a year. Because think about if we had to actually sell that out in the world. They can't even agree on this. They're not talking about going from 120 to 0. I mean, can't we I don't know, can't we reduce it 25%? Would that kill anybody? Wall Street probably fall about 1,000 points on that. Maybe more. But they don't know what to do. They said that forward guidance on the federal funds rates will be decided later. Most participants marked a saw benefit in reducing the net purchases of treasuries and mortgage-backed securities proportionately. That was an interesting one. Because I would say, let's start with the mortgages, right? Because you've created this house. But you got to remember the way they track housing inflation. They don't use housing prices. They don't even use rent prices. They use some fake baloney number. Listen, there's 2 lines open. Listen, they're going to fill up quick during the break. Type 2 Silver Eagle, $680, 800-951-0592. When we get back, we're going to get to the fun one. Inflation and fears of a bubble. 800-951-0592. Got a couple lines open. The Type 2 Silver Eagles. This is our first allotment of the year. This is the redesign. Arlene handed me a note during the break. Yeah, if you buy a case, save another $5. Absolutely, volume discounts still apply. They're $680 a roll. If you buy a case, by the way, 25 rolls, right? That'll get you that green monster box. It'll be sealed. If it was me, if you're buying a case of these, I would leave it sealed. Because this is a split year, the mintage is going to be a lower mintage. And I don't know what the mintage is going to be, maybe 10, 15 million ounces, maybe, give or take. So that'll be a lower level. I would leave the strap on there and the sticker and all that. That's just me. But if you buy a case, take $5 off a roll, 25 rolls, that'd be $675, $16,875 if you buy the case at 800-951-0592. We're about halfway through our allotment. That would kind of put us right at the cutoff. As soon as we get a month out, the Bullion Bank will not take any more orders. Right now, very safe to assume if you're ordering now, 3 weeks. 3 weeks until they're in. And if it comes sooner, great. Right? If it comes sooner, great. Just be patient. I know a lot of you you're just ordering 1 roll or 2 rolls. You still need to be patient. Okay, just be patient. Believe me, as soon as we get them, you're going to have them. And as soon as they hit the Bullion Bank, they're going to be on their way to us. We're going over the Fed minutes. And if you just read headlines yesterday, Fed says to begin taper at the end of the year. That was the headline everywhere. If you actually read what they said, it just proves they really don't know what to do. They're like, well, we're going to taper if the market stays the way it was. And notice how I said was. Because we've already seen a big slowdown, haven't we? Already. So then they said, though, if we do taper, we're not going to do mortgage-backed securities first or something like that. They want to do them conjointly. I think that's a mistake, but okay, because they don't care. They want, believe me, listen, they want housing to be more expensive. They do. They don't want housing prices to start falling. That'd be terrible for them. I don't care that you can't afford them. The bankers will buy them, and you can just rent them. On the outcome of taper, many participants remarked about risk management considerations when contemplating how and when. Listen, they didn't say this, and I could be wrong. I wasn't in the room. Essentially, they're saying, hey, don't be surprised if we started and then go back. Well, we started to taper. Remember the taper last time? They started tapering, and then what happened? Not only did the tapering not end, it went the other way. Right? It went the other way. The balance sheet, which was over $4 trillion, got to just below $4 trillion, is now $9 trillion. On tapering too early, a few participants suggested that they need to be more mindful of the risk of tapering, and especially tapering too soon. The box. I keep talking about the box. I feel bad. Listen, they put themselves in this box. I didn't do it. You didn't do it. On inflation. Some participants suggested that it would be prudent for the committee to prepare for starting the reduction of its pace of asset purchases relatively soon in the light of risk of recent high inflation readings. Really? By the way, you know what some means? There's 3. There's only 3, by the way, just telling you. There's only 3 of them. And none of them have any real power. And they're worried that inflation could prove more persistent than they had anticipated. Listen, that's already happened. It's already more participant or persistent than you had prepared for. They don't care. I wish you would all figure it out. The Federal Reserve is not here for us. That's why it needs to go away. This is the destroyer of wealth. Look at what they just said. I just told you the Philly Fed said prices are the highest they've been since 1974. Yeah. And they're not even talking about raising rates. They're just talking about tapering. Look how conflicted they are just about that. How about fears of a bubble? A few participants, right? What are we talking about? Two, I'm guessing, expressed concern that maintaining highly accommodative financial conditions might contribute to a further buildup in risk to the financial system. So what? We're going to crash it anyway. I love that. Of course, they kind of said, didn't they? Yeah, we're already building the bubble because they said further build up. Further build up. Yeah. I wouldn't leave money in the bank. That's just me. I'm not done. We got a few more. We'll get to it here. Silver Eagles Type 2s, 680. Buy a case or more, 675 a roll. 800-951-0592. Final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. We had 250 rolls to start the day. We're down to less than 100, so get these orders in. This is our first shot. Type 2 Silver Eagles. It's pretty interesting when the bullion bank tells you there's a line out his door. The bullion bank's in California, so all the California dealers are lining up outside because they're so desperate to get their hands on anything. This just tells you silver's not going anywhere. Demand for silver continues to be off the charts. Right now, you're ordering now. You're going to wait 3 weeks, but we're in. We're getting them. Problem is, after this, after we sell out of these, there's going to be a delay because they won't allow me to book more than a month out because if they don't have that silver already planned to be there, they won't even take orders, and everyone starts all over again. So get them in today, $6.80 a roll. Buy a case, 25 rolls, $6.75. So you save $5 when you do that. Depending on where you look, gold's unchanged in New York, $17.82. Kitco says gold's down $5 at $17.84. I don't know. London in New York, a couple of dollars, big deal, whatever. Let's split the difference. We'll say gold $17.83. Silver they agree on $23.27 right now. The Dow was down quite a bit this morning, but then I think people did what I just did, and they started reading the actual Fed minutes. It was like, oh, the Fed really didn't. The Fed only said they're going to taper if the economy stays good. Well, the economy looks like it's slow. It must mean they're not going to taper. Don't worry about bubbles, though. They're saying that a couple of them were worried, but the problem was more of them said, hey, you know what? We're not that worried. We should be careful about taper. And they're not even talking about raising rates. A couple people did mention valuation pressures in housing, but some others said that reducing the pace of treasuries and mortgage-backed securities may or may not have an influence. I don't know. So they I guess at the end of the day, they talked out of every side of their orifice that they had. Pretty simple. I mean, if you read that, you'd be like, okay, so you guys really don't have any clue. They talked about maybe some tapering. They didn't say how much. They didn't say when. They're not sure. How are we going to do it? When are we going to do it? Maybe we shouldn't do it. Almost none of them were worried about us paying more for everything. They don't care. Period. 800-951-0592. There you have it. I read these things verbatim to you. I wanted you to understand. All they care about is their little system. They don't care. Well, I guess some of them said there is risk to the financial system. Why would we put any risk on that? But here's the problem. If they actually do what they're supposed to do, financial system will blow up anyway. Thanks for Radio News Hour. God bless everybody. Get those orders in. 800-951-0592. We'll be back for one more show tomorrow.